So let's compose ourselves. We shall recite the opening salutation to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and I shall chant after the puja, so that all of you try to follow me in silence and see whether we are coordinated. If we are not coordinated, then might be something is wrong with our chanting. So let's compose ourselves. Let's say sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adinnadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kamesu miccācara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musawada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Surameraya majja pamadatana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Itipiso bhagava arahang Samma sambuddho Vijjācarana sampanno Sugato lokavidu Anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati Satta deva manusana Buddho bhagavati. Swakato bhagavata dhammo sandittiko akaliko ehipasiko opanayiko paccatang veditappo vinyuhinti. Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho. Ujupatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho. Nyāyapatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho. Samicipatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho. Yadidang cattari purisa yugani atta purisa puggala esa bhagavato savaka sangho ahuneyo pahuneyo dakhineyo anjali karaniyo anuttarang punyaketang lokasati. Vandami cetiyang sabbang sapatane supatititang saririka dhatu mahabodhing buddha rupang sakalang sada yasamule nisinnova sabbari vijayang aka Patto sappanyutang satta vande tang bodhipadapang ime ete mahabodhi lokanatena pujita ahang pite namassami bodhi raja namatute Gana sarapadittena dipena tamadang sina tiloka dipang sambuddhang pujayami tamonudang ganda sambara yuttena dupena sugandina Pujae pujaniyantang puja bhajanamuttamang adivase tuno bante paniyang parikappitang anukampang upadaya patiganhatu muttamang Adivase tuno bante bojanang parikappitang anukampang upadaya patigan hatu muttamang Adivase tuno bante gilana paccayang imang anukampang upadaya patigan hatu muttamang Vannaganda gunopetang etang kusuma santating Pujayami munindassa siripada saroruhe Pujemi buddhang kusumena nena punyena metena ca hotu mokkang Puppang milayati yata idang me kayo tatayati vinasa bhavang Kayena vaca cittena pamadena maya katang Acayang kamame bante buri panya tatagata Kayena vaca cittena pamadena maya katang Acayang kamame dhamma sandittika akalika Kayena vaca cittena pamadena maya katang Acayang kamame sangga supatipanna anuttara Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. We try for reading this again. Okay, today we will talk about the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, that is the Buddha's final journey. The Buddha's, I do not have much slides for you this time, but we will just tell you some stories. So Buddha's final journey is not so uneventful. It is very, very eventful and many teachings and lessons we can learn during his final journey. His life is not only certain portion that's meaningful. From the beginning up to his final days, it is full of lessons and inspiration to tap on. So his last journey starts with Magadha again. He also started teaching in Magadha also actually. So his last journey also in Magadha. So he started with Magadha. Okay, we have mentioned to you about King Bimbisara, isn't it? I'm not sure, but I think we did talk about King Bimbisara. Sumitra, we did cover.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay,
You have introduced how he first met the Bodhisattva
ah,
before he be enlightened, and
yeah,
how he returned after his enlightenment. And
ah,
also you mentioned about the Tirukutta Sutta due
yes,
to
yes.
the offerings
Very good.
not
Okay.
shared with the departed relatives.
Okay, very good. Okay, okay. I'm not sure what I have. Okay, but I did not explain much about King Ajatasattu, isn't it? Okay,
You have just touched lightly.
okay. King Ajatasattu is the son of King Bimbisara. Huh? I don't have this. I may have the slides, lah, but I didn't get it out. Never mind. You just listen to stories, lah. So King Ajatasattu was the son of King Bimbisara, who dethroned his father. He usurped the throne of his father. When the father was a king, that means he usurped the throne. He caught hold of his father. He said, "I'm taking over." Unfortunately, he put his father to prison. That's the bad part about the son putting the father to prison. So he imprisoned his father. And this also happened, they say, uh, with the instigation from Devadatta. Devadatta was trying to overthrow the Buddha also. He wants the Buddha to step down and he wants to take over. So he also encouraged, because you see, King Bimbisara was a strong supporter of the Buddha. So he told the son, "You overthrow your father and take over." So he hopingly that this King Ajatasattu will overthrow the father and the Buddha won't get so much support. He can overthrow the Buddha. But this didn't work, okay? But King Ajatasattu did overthrow the father and put the father in prison. Unfortunately, when he realized his mistake, you know, about imprisoning his father, there's a very long story there. But never mind, cut it short. So when he realized it was a mistake to imprison his father and to kind of torture him, he cut the sole of the father's feet until the father wouldn't walk. So and then the father eventually died in prison. That time he realized he was wrong. He wanted to release his father, but it was too late. His father died. Meaning to say that he has committed one of the 5 heinous crime. Remember, in Buddhism, there are 5 heinous crime which cannot be forgiven. There is no antara bhava on this one. It's straight away you go to hell. That is number one, killing of mother. If you kill your mother, you will no second chance. Immediately after death, you will go to Avicii hell. That's the first heinous crime. The second heinous crime is to kill your father. If you kill your father, that also tak boleh ampun, terus Avicii hell. No chance, no chance, no chance for antara baba, then something happen, then you be saved. No chance. Immediately you go to Avicii hell. And the third, of course, if you try to hurt or if you kill an arahant. If the person is an arahant, if you kill him, you also tak boleh ampun. So terus Avicii hell. So this is the third heinous crime. And then the fourth heinous crime, if you cause schism, that means if you cause the good community of the Buddhist monks, schism means a good community of the Buddhist monks, and you cause them to split. You cause Buddhism to split. Sometimes people define that way, or if you have a good community of monks and then you cause them to split, you go and chucho api here, chucho api there until they quarrel and they split. That is schism. And that one also tak boleh ampun. Because that schism in Buddhism also straight to Avicii hell. That's fourth. And the fifth heinous crime that cannot be forgiven is when you try to hurt the Buddha. If you know he's a Sama Sambuddha, don't try to hurt him. Devadatta hurt the Buddha. You know, one day the Buddha was passing through the vulture's peak. He was up there. He took a rock and rolled it down, hoping he can crush the Buddha. But the Buddha was safe and he injured his toe only. And for that crime, Devadatta is now in Avicii hell. Okay, he has gone to Avicii hell, waiting for his days to be over. Okay, so his journey is very long lah. So now these are the 5 heinous crimes. So Ajatasattu, King Ajatasattu actually has caused one of the heinous crime. He has actually killed his father, whether accidentally or unintentionally. That was intentional to put the father in prison. But when he wanted to release his father, it was too late. The father died. So he was guilty of this heinous crime. So Ajatasattu is also in Avicii hell with his partner there, Devadatta there. So Ajatasattu, this didn't end there, according to the books, this went on for 3 generations, So actually, Ajatasattu killed his father. Ajatasattu's son killed him. Okay, same. He suffered the same fate because that one is the law of karma. He also was killed by his son, and his grandson killed his son. So 3 generations suffered. So that is the price you pay for the heinous crime. This heinous crime is very, so be careful. All of us, we have our parents at home. We must look after our parents well. Don't try to hurt your parents, because this is one of the heinous crimes which cannot be forgiven. Okay, so King Ajatasattu took over the throne, and he was now the king of Magadha, big state, a big country. So he, of course, he's also ambitious. He like to annex all these small people, this small kingdom around, That's where the Sakyan kingdom was also actually annexed by the Kolyas, I think. So that's why we don't find, there is why some people dispute that Sakya is not a kingdom. They say no, so it's not in one of these things. But because they were annexed by the bigger clan called the Kolyas, I think, so that's why you cannot find. You see, the story here is the first story we learn here is about the Vajis. So when King Ajatasattu, he was very, very annoyed with the Vajis, always jealous of their success. This is a small kingdom only, small state, small country, but very successful. So he's always very jealous and always wanted to fight them. So when he became the king, he wanted to attack them. He wanted to attack the Vajis, and say that let us finish off the Vajis now once and for all. But that didn't happen. Okay, before he do that, so what he did was he sent his prime minister. Okay, so he wanted to attack the Vajis, and then he sent his prime minister to get advice from the Buddha first, whether or not he will succeed if he attack the Vajis, So the prime minister went and asked the Buddha he went, approached the Buddha very politely, and then he asked the Buddha, now, my king sent me here to ask you whether or not we can attack the Vajis League, the Federation of Republic. They are actually a republic, So can we attack the Vajis and we will succeed or not? So the Buddha, at that time, Ananda was beside the Buddha, and Buddha asked Ananda this question. Before you want to attack people, you find out these answers first. So number 1, say, do the Vajis meet frequently and have many meetings? And then when they come out from meetings, they don't quarrel. Do the Vajis have this kind of cohesiveness, this kind of community living? Then Ananda says, yes, as far as I know, the Vajis meet frequently. They have many meetings. They go to their meetings, and then they come out peacefully. They don't quarrel. They don't become enemies outside. And that is happening in the Vajis kingdom. So the Buddha says, as long as the Vajis meet frequently and have many meetings, they can expect to prosper but not decline. That's condition number 1. The Buddha says, tell me, are the Vajis peaceful? Are they meeting frequently? Are they having meetings and they can talk properly and they depart as friends? Then Ananda says, yes. Okay, then the Buddha says, if the Vajis do that, that was the advice given by the Buddha to the Vajis earlier. You must meet frequently, you must have meetings, you must not quarrel in a meeting, then you will be prosperous as a nation. So the answer was yes. Okay. Oh, that is okay. First condition was whether they meet frequently and expect to prosper if they can meet frequently. Second condition, I put it together actually, is as long as they meet in harmony and depart in harmony and carry on their business in harmony, they can expect to prosper. So the Buddha asked again, do they meet in harmony? Do they depart peacefully? They don't quarrel? They say yes. They are like that. They go, I told you earlier, they go for meetings and they can disperse peacefully. Then the Buddha says, as long as the people can meet and depart in harmony, we meet and discuss things in harmony, we believe and separate, and we depart after the meeting in harmony, we will succeed, that nation will succeed, the Buddha says, and that they can expect to prosper and not to decline. So there's the second condition. Now, these are the 7 conditions which are useful for us, For us lay people, these are also very useful. Then the third question the Buddha asks, do these Vajis people, the Buddha asks, do these Vajis people, Vajis, the Vajians lah, sometimes they call it the Vajis lah, the Vajis league lah, they are called. So do these people always make the new laws and then they abolish the existing laws, and then they don't want to follow their traditions, do they do that? Ananda said, no, Bhante, they are not like that. They don't make new decrees or abolish existing decrees. So they undertake to follow the ancient tradition. So the Buddha says, as long as the people don't simply make new laws to throw back all existing laws, sometimes we all cannot wait to take over. We must change the policy and then we want to take over the kingdom, So the Buddha says, as long as the Vajis don't make new decrees or abolish existing decrees, but undertake to follow the ancient Vajian tradition, they will succeed. Now, these are the signs of a successful nation. Okay, they're very peaceful and they don't simply abolish all the constitution that they have and change the constitution to suit them. No, they follow the tradition, the old tradition. Okay, so the Buddha says, as long as they follow this tradition, they will succeed. So life history of the Buddha is very interesting. This end also, there were a lot of lessons for us to learn. So the third thing was that as long as they don't change the constitution every now and then, they follow the old constitution and abide by the rules, they will succeed. That's what the Buddha says. Then this nation will succeed, they will prosper. Then another condition. So when the Prime Minister from Ajatasattu asked the Buddha, so can we attack them? The Buddha says, okay, ask Ananda again. Do these Vajans, do they respect the older Vajans, the senior elder Vajans? And always seek advice from the seniors. Do they do that? Then Ananda say, yes, Bhante. They honor, they respect, they esteem, and venerate Vajan elders. So the Buddha says, as long as they honor, respect, esteem, and venerate Vajan elders, and think that they are worth listening to, they will not decline. That nation will prosper. Okay, so that was the fourth condition the Buddha says. These are very interesting for us, these conditions. Then again, the Buddha asked, do these Vajans respect the woman or not? Do they simply disgrace the woman or treat them as second class? They rape them, or do they abduct women or girls from their families and force them to live with them? Are they like that? So Ananda said, no, Bante. As far as I know, the virgin men don't rape or abduct women from their families and force them to live with them. Then the Buddha says, good. So the Buddha says, as long as the virgins do not rape or abduct women or girls from their family and force them to live with them, that nation, if the people are like that, they will prosper. Okay, if the people are very disciplined, that nation will prosper. Okay, so that was the fifth condition. Then the Buddha asked again, okay, Ananda, do these virgins honor, respect, and esteem and venerate the virgin shrine? Do they have shrine there? You know, do they simply not respect or do proper offerings? Are they like barbarians, Then Ananda said, no, Bante, they are not like that. Then the Buddha says again, as long as they honor, as long as they respect, esteem, and venerate the Vajjan shrine, if they are religious people, not religious in that sense, but if the ethical people, whether inner or outer, not neglecting the proper offerings that be given to be made to all these kind of deities, they are ethical people. Then this kind of people in the society, they will prosper. That's what the Buddha says. The 7 factors lah. And then there's number 7, the Buddha says, do these people organize proper protection and shelter and security for the Buddhas and the Arahants, or more perfect ones that may come to the realm already that they may live in comfort? So do they respect this kind of Arahant? Do they respect this kind of people, the priests and all that? They say, yes, Bante, these Vajans are very protective of this kind of people. Then the Buddha says, as long as the Vajans organize proper protection, shelter, and security for perfected ones, so that more perfected ones might come into the realm and those here may live in comfort, then they can expect to prosper but not decline. So as long as the people respect those people who have renounced and give protection to those monks and those arahants, then this kind of nation, they will prosper. The Buddha says, then after these 7 lectures, then the Prime Minister says, okay, Bante, we understand now that I will go back and report to the King Ajatasattu not to attack the Vajans, because the Vajans are expected to prosper because they are a very disciplined and cultured nation. And with that kind of quality, they will not decline. Yeah. So the Buddha says to the Vajan, as long as these 7 principles that prevent decline among the Vajis, and as long as the Vajis are seen following them, they can expect to grow but not decline. Meaning, don't attack the Vajans. You will not succeed lah, because the Vajans are so coercive. As a republic, they're very coercive. So the Buddha says, don't attack them. Okay? So the Buddha actually here, this the life of the Buddha, the ending part, it helps that way. So that's what the Buddha did. The Buddha also advised the 7 factors to the community of the monks. He said that you monks also must do the same thing lah. Basically, what the Buddha says, you monks also must learn to frequently meet. I mean, Upasata day, you must Upasata, the new moon and full moon, you must meet, and then you must have very good coordination and live in harmony. Then the community of the monks will succeed. So same thing, the Buddha used this, the Buddha used this to the monks. The Buddha called the monks and said that as long as you follow the Vinaya, don't abolish all these Vinaya, suka, you change the rules. You must follow the ancient Vinaya. As long as you follow, then the community of the monks will prosper. So the Buddha used the same thing, to the monks and said that this is the advice. And then the Buddha also told them that as long as you honor and respect and venerate, the Buddha told the monks, you must honor and respect the senior monks. That's why you see in our community, the monks are very respectful of those senior monks. Because the Buddha says you all must work together like that. Then the community of the monks will succeed. Why? Because if you see the monks not respecting each other, we also won't respect them. Correct? So the Buddha is very careful. The Buddha says you must show example. You must respect the elders. Then when the outside people, lay people see you, they will respect you. So that, and then if that happens, of course the community of the monks will progress. And then as long as you don't abuse yourself, you don't abuse the ladies, then people will respect you monks and you will prosper. As long as the monks venerate their shrine, and the Buddha says you will succeed. And so that's what the Buddha says. You organize proper protection or whatever. So the Buddha reinterpreted this actually to the monks also. And that the Buddha says that as long as the community of the monks follow these 7 rules, then the community of the monks will prosper. Okay? So that is the purpose of these 7 principles that will prevent the decline among the Vajis. As long as the Vajis are seen following them, they can expect growth but not decline. That was the advice given by the Buddha. So that was the first advice given by the Buddha. Okay, so that was when there was in Rajagaha, and then there was the important event there. His final journey started with this event. The 7 points given to the Vajis, which are applicable to us in the community today. Meaning to say that also they meet, they discuss, they meet is like democracy. So the Buddha actually introduced kind of democracy to them, whereby we sit, we discuss, we elect leaders, and then we move peacefully. That is the community that will succeed. Okay, so that is the first part of the Buddha's last journey when he was in. So welfare of the bhikkhus. Then the Buddha used the same 7 factors that I explained to you and use this for the welfare of the bhikkhus. Remember I told you? So these lessons we learn are even useful for us today. In our society, our Buddhist society, we will prosper if we follow these 7 things. Okay? Then our society will prosper. If there's infighting among ourselves, then it will not prosper. So that is the advice given by the Buddha. Okay, so this is called the welfare of the community. Okay. So, okay, what does the Buddha say of the 7 factors of enlightenment? These are the conditions leading to welfare. I shall set forth bhikkhus, listen and pay attention to what I say, okay? Okay, these are the 7 perceptions, isn't it? Okay, let me see what it says here. Okay, the Buddha introduced, okay, it is quite different from what I have just said. Okay, now these are the 7 factors for enlightenment. These are called the Bojjhangas. There are actually 37, 37. Sometimes people use the word factors of enlightenment, But these are called the Bodhipakkhiyas, the Bodhipakkhiyas, I think, isn't it? Which are the 37 Bodhipakkhiyas. So these, of course, in English, they still use the factors of enlightenment. That's confusing. Like I've said, Pali and English is completely different. There is no equivalent. So here the Buddha says the 7 factors of mind is called, these are called the Bojjhangas. Okay? And the 37 Bodhipakkhiyas, they are not 37 factors of enlightenment, They are called Bodhipakkhiyas, but in English, people sometimes use the word factors of enlightenment. Although you can say that we don't use word factors, you can use some other words like we want. But that is in English. But in Pali, these are different. There are 37 Bodhipakkhiyas, and also 7 factors of enlightenment, they are the Bojjhangas. So the Bojjhangas are different. The Bojjhangas are actually number 1 is called mindfulness. Okay, Sati. Mindfulness is Sati. Investigation of the phenomena is called Bojjhanga Sati. And then the Virya, isn't it? And Virya is the energy and bliss. Second, investigation of the Dhamma. It is called the investigation of the Dhamma. Yeah? So it is called, in Pali, it is called, number 1, it is called the Sati, Sambojjanga. Number 2, it's called Dhamma, Dhamma Vichaya Sambojjanga, investigation of the Dhamma, investigation of the phenomena is called the Dhamma Vichaya. Dhamma Vichaya. I've got it now. It is called the Dhamma Vichaya. And then number 3 is called energy, it's called Virya. Virya. And number 4 is called Pitit. Not Pitit, Pitit. Pitit means rapture or happiness. Okay. These 7 factors, and then number 5 is called calm, is pasadi. And then number 6 is called samadhi, is concentration. And last but not least is equanimity. Equanimity means equanimous. You see, if you want to link them together, never mind, we have a separate lesson for this if you want. Now you attend our Bojjhanga. We got Bojjhanga service every Friday. You can join us. Then we will go through factor by factor. We are actually trying to explain to you all. So these are the 7 factors of enlightenment. These are very powerful sutta for healing purposes, For healing purposes, the story goes that Mahakassapa was very sick one day. So they informed the Buddha that Venerable Mahakassapa, a very senior monk, was very sick. Then the Buddha went over there and the Buddha recited to him the Bojjhanga, the 7 factors of enlightenment, which actually Mahakassapa was already an arahant. He knows these 7 factors, but the Buddha merely went over to remind him of these 7 factors. But when you are sick, you must be mindful. Right? You must be mindful that you are. I mean, I put it in a layman's term. In layman's term, we put it this way. When we are sick, what do? We must be mindful. Mindful of what? Mindful that we are sick. Don't behave like you're not sick. Correct? If we got fever, don't play in the rain. You play in the rain, it gets worse. Correct? So that's called mindfulness. In Buddhism, it's all about mindfulness. So when you are sick, you learn to be mindful. This is from a very simple layman's way. Of course, mindfulness in Buddhism is a huge subject. It's not so simple as what I put it to you. But basically, I will put it that these 7 factors for sick people, why you can recover. If you remind yourself that you are sick. Be mindful, be careful. Avoid taking things that is detrimental to your health. When you are sick, behave like a sick person. Don't go and play in the rain. Like I say, go in the sun. You must be mindful. And then you must investigate. The second one is called the investigation of the phenomena or investigation of the Dhamma. It's called Dhamma Vichaya. Dhamma Vichaya means when we are sick, we investigate what sickness it is. Go and see the doctor, find out what sickness, then you get a proper cure, proper treatment, you will recover. So you must seek the phenomena, investigation of the Dhamma, and then you put effort virya. Virya means now when we know we are sick, we went to investigate the sickness, we have the obat. Please put in effort to eat the obat. Don't think that since you got the obat in hand means you can recover. No, you must put in effort. So the Buddha has put it for us that way. So you must learn to eat your obat. Put in effort to eat your obat. And then you will have rapture and joy. What happened? You feel better. Correct? When you're sick, you will feel better. If you follow these 4 advice, you feel better. And then the Buddha says that it's called pitit. Then the Buddha says, you got pasadi, sambojjangoko, which is called calm. Then when you You're very happy, you have recovered, you become more calm. Otherwise, you're busy every day, you're sick, you're sick, you're sick. Then when you are okay. Now, final factor is called upekka. Okay? Upekka is called equanimous. A very important criteria for Buddhists is to remain equanimous. What does it mean? If we are sick, try to be equanimous. You seek for treatment and just remain calm and neutral that this medication will work on you. Right? So you learn to be equanimous. Equanimous means we don't be so kalang kabut, don't be so biased with this, biased with that. Don't be so worried with this, worried with that. Oh, I'm sick, what will happen? I'm sick, what will happen? I tell you a nice story. Even I think Acham Brahm was saying before, when he first went to Thailand, so of course, go to Thailand, he go to the forest, sure kena malaria one, don't worry, guaranteed. So he was also suffering from malaria, went to the hospital. So he was all okay lah, very down. After like I say, when you're sick, you're very uncomfortable with malaria, hot, cold. Then he heard one day that Ajahn Chah is coming to visit him. Wow, Grandmaster is coming. He was so happy. So Ajahn Chah, Ajahn Chah, he's a very powerful. Some claim that he's actually enlightened. So so when Ajahn Brahm heard that Ajahn Chah, his grandmaster, is coming to visit him, wow, he was so happy. He said, sure, something will happen now. When this wise man come and see you, sure you recover one, don't worry, correct? Then Ajahn Chah came to visit him. Ajahn Chah looked at him and told him, don't worry, Bhante, don't worry. Two things can happen only when you're sick. What two things? You either recover or you die. Why there to worry so much? So you must remain equanimous lah. Okay, this is only a joke. Don't worry. So but equanimous means you have to remain calm and cool and expect the outcome of everything. That is called equanimity. So when you are sick, these 7 bojangas will help you a lot to understand why you are sick and all that. But of course, you come to our bojanga service. Now we are going through every week, we are explaining one factor. Before we chant, we'll explain to you one factor, the sati, what is mindfulness all about. It won't be so simple as what I told you, but like I've said, I like to make things simple and easy for you. Okay, so there's the 7 factors of enlightenment. Then we move on. So in part 2, the most important thing in part 2, I have only picked up the important items only lah. The next thing that happened in part 2 is the 4 noble truths. Then part 2 of the journey, the 4 noble truths. What does it say about 4 noble truths? Okay, listen carefully to this stanza. This is also a very important stanza. Okay, so you can screen share bigger or how you gonna do it? Okay. Okay, in the 4 noble truths here, see the Buddha, what is important here is actually, I want to quote only this part for you to understand what is the 4 noble truths. Wait, hold on. Okay, sister, can you just, okay. Okay, here, okay, stop here, we start from here. The 4 noble truths. Now the Blessed One spoke to Venerable Ananda, saying, come, Ananda, let us go to Kottagama. Kottagama. So be it, Lord. And the Blessed One took up his abode at Kottagama together with a large community of bhikkhus. Okay? Bhikkhus are the venerables. And the Blessed One addressed the bhikkhu saying, Bhikkhu, it is through not realizing, through not penetrating. This is the 4 noble truths, which is the core teachings of the Buddha. Okay, Buddhism revolves the core teaching is the 4 noble truths and the 8-fold path. And here we emphasize again what the Buddha says. And Blessed One addressed the bhikkhu saying, Bhikkhu, it is not through not realizing, through not penetrating the 4 noble truths that this long course of birth and death that has passed through and undergone by me as well as by you. What are these for? Okay. They are the noble truth of suffering, the noble truth of the origin of suffering, the noble truth of the cessation of suffering, and the noble truth of the way to the cessation of suffering. And now, because that these have been realized and penetrated, cut off is the craving for existence, destroyed is that leads to renewed becoming and no more fresh becoming. What does that mean? That when because that these have been realized and penetrated, when you have realized the Four Noble Truths in the 12 aspects, remember, Dua Dasa, okay? When you have realized the Four Noble Truths in the 12 aspect, I think those who have done the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta with me will know that. You will know that these are important, that you must realize the Four Noble Truths in these 12 aspects. What do you mean by 12 aspects? Each truth you must know, you must put to practice, you must realize. You must know the truth of suffering. You must put that knowledge to practice until you realize that suffering. Okay? And then, okay, that one I think we will not go through again. But those of you who are interested in this, you can request later. We can talk. We can have another session for the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. Mirror of the Dhamma. What is the mirror of the Dhamma? Okay. So now, okay. So what is the mirror of the Dhamma? What is important here is actually, but true Ananda is nothing strange that a human being should die. Correct? Okay, the mirror of the Dhamma. Sometimes people say the mirror of the Dhamma. So what is the mirror of the Dhamma? Okay, but truly Ananda, it is not nothing strange that human beings should die. But if each time it happens, you should come to Tathagata and ask about them in this manner. Indeed, it would be troublesome to him. Therefore, Ananda, I'll give you the teachings called the mirror of the Dhamma, possessing which the noble disciple, should he so desire, can declare himself, there's no more rebirth for me in hell, nor in animal kingdom, nor as a ghost, nor in any realm of woe. A stream enterer am I, safe from falling into the states of misery. Assured am I, bound for enlightenment. And what Ananda is this teaching called the mirror of the Dhamma, possessing which the noble disciple may declare of himself. What is this about this mirror of the Dhamma, that you won't be reborn in this state, What is this? What is the meaning, So, in this case, Ananda, the noble disciple, possesses unwavering faith in the Buddha. Okay? So, the Buddha says, when this mirror of the Dhamma, you know and you realize, you will not be reborn in this four woeful state. Okay, you won't be reborn in Avicii hell, you won't be reborn as the animal kingdom, you won't be reborn as an Asura, and also be reborn as hungry ghost. And why? Why is it so? The Buddha said, in this case, Ananda, the noble disciple possesses the unwavering faith in the Buddha thus. Okay? You must have faith in the Buddha that he is an Arahant. Okay? Okay, we look at just a little bit on top, so the one stanza on top. Okay. The Blessed One is an Arahant. Remember, Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho. He is the fully enlightened one, perfect in knowledge. He is the Sugato. And then he's the Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vijja Charana Sampanno Sugato Loka Vidu is the knower of the worlds. Loka Vidu, paramount trainer of beings. Okay, he is also a trainer of those cannot be trained. He's the teacher of gods and men, and is the enlightened one. You must have full confidence in the 9 virtues of the Buddha. Okay, so where is this found? That you have confidence you won't be reborn in unwoeful state? It's in the Mahaparinibbana Sutta also. Okay, so remember, I will read this again. In this case, Ananda, the noble disciple, possesses unwavering faith in the Buddha, meaning he knows and have faith in the 9 virtues of the Buddha, which is Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vidya Charana Sampanno Sugato Loka Vidu Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati Satta Deva Manussanang Buddho Bhagavati. Meaning he's the meaning he's the blessed one, he's an Arahant, fully enlightened one, perfect in knowledge and conduct, the happy one, the knower of the world, the paramount trainers of beings, the teachers of gods and men, and the enlightened one, the blessed one. You must have full confidence in the Buddha. Second quality that you need to cultivate, you must possess unwavering faith in the Dhamma. Okay, well propounded by the blessed one is the Dhamma, which is evident, meaning this Dhamma is experiential. This Dhamma is not by theory, not taught by people. This Dhamma is evident, not by theory, not taught by people, not brought down by gods and all that. So it is evident, meaning experiential. I use that word experiential. And it is timeless, meaning this Dhamma is good, was good 2,500 years ago, and still is good today. That is the Dhamma. Okay? Then this Dhamma is inviting for investigation. Don't accept the Dhamma blindly. You can investigate the Dhamma, question the Dhamma. When you are happy with the Dhamma, accept it. If you are not happy with the Dhamma, don't accept it. That's what the Buddha says. This Dhamma we invite for investigation. This Dhamma lead to emancipation. This Dhamma can lead you to emancipation, to liberation. Liberation means lead you to be enlightened, lead you to wisdom. Okay, and this Dhamma to be comprehended by the wise, meaning only the wise people can understand the Dhamma. We are able to understand, we are also among the wise people today. Each for himself. What does it mean? This Dhamma and the benefit of the Dhamma, you have to know yourself. You cannot get others to know for you. You cannot get your children to read up and think that you know after that. No. You must learn and experience it yourself. That this Dhamma is actually experiential. It is timeless, meaning good in the past and still good today. Please investigate the Dhamma. Don't accept it blindly. It leads you to liberation and to be, it can be understood by the wise, each for himself, meaning you must learn it yourself. Nobody else can learn and experience the Dhamma for you. Okay, that is the Dhamma. Okay, then the Buddha says the third quality, when you won't be reborn in the woeful state, is to have full faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Then the Buddha says here, he possesses unwavering faith in the blessed one's order of disciples. Thus, well-faring is the blessed one's order of disciples. They are righteous, they are wise, they are dutiful. Meaning, these people are very good and they are very dutiful, means they do their duties well. They are wise, they are righteous, and this is Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaga Sangho, Ujupatipanno Bhagavato Savaga Sangho, Nyaya Patipanno Bhagavato Savaga Sangho, Sami Chi Patipanno Bhagavato Savaga Sangho, Yadidang Chatari, Purisa Yugani, Atta Purisa Puggala, Esa Bhagavato Savaga Sangho, Ahuneyo, Pahuneyo, Dakineyo, Anjali Karaniyo, Anuttarang Punya Ketang Lokasati. Meaning, that the Buddha says that he possesses unwavering faith in the blessed order of the disciple. Thus, well-faring is the blessed one's order of disciples. They are righteous, they're wise, they're dutiful. That is to say, the 4 pairs of men, the 8 classes of persons, the blessed ones, order of disciple is worthy. They are worthy of honor. These disciples of the Buddha, they are worthy of your honor. They are worthy of your hospitality. They are worthy of your offerings. They are worthy of your veneration. The supreme field for meritorious deeds in the world. And these disciples of the Buddha, when you serve them, you get the maximum merits that you can do. Okay? So this is the quality of the Sangha. Okay, remember when we chant Supatipanno, this is the meaning. So the Buddha says, if you have full faith in this Buddha, okay, I won't be able to explain to you now the 4 pairs of men with the 8 classes of persons. Again, like I said, if you all need this, you can come to the Thursday class, you can ask questions and we will continue. Today, I don't think we have time to explain this. But in case you want to learn, we can come on Thursday. Okay, so these virtues are complete, perfect, and spotless and pure, which are liberating, praised by the wise, uninfluenced by worldly concerns, and favorable to concentration of the mind. So then the Buddha says, what is this? This Ananda is the teaching called the mirror of the Dhamma. Mirror of the Dhamma, whereby the noble disciple may know thus for himself, there is no more rebirth for me in hell, nor in an animal or ghost realm, nor in the realms of woe. A stream enterer, Sotapanna, a stream enterer am I, safe from falling into the states of misery. Assured am I, and bound for enlightenment. So if you have faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, as what I recited for you, then this will happen. You are no more, you will not be reborn in this unfortunate, 4 woeful state anymore. Okay? And then meaning to say that you are a stream enterer now. And then you will not fall into the states of misery. And as a stream enterer, you are definitely bound for enlightenment in the maximum of 7 lives. Okay? Maximum does not mean that you must go through the 7 lives, If you're a stream enterer, sometime in 4 lives, you can become enlightened already. Not necessarily 7, maximum of 7, not necessarily all 7 must be used. So that is what we call the mirror of the Dhamma. Okay? Now we will, what else you want to go through on this sutta? I think that is good. Okay, now we go to Ampali better. Ampali is another story we can tell you. Ampali is in where? Is it 3-1 or what? Okay.
This is still in the
Okay.
sutta, but if
Okay.
you want to go
Okay,
further,
yeah. Okay, Ampali. Who's Ampali? Okay, let us. I did not introduce Ampali to you last week. Okay, this is Ampali is here. Ampali is a courtesan. Ampali is a courtesan. So now, then Ampali, the courtesan, she heard that the Buddha is in town. I will make briefly for you. We just read it. So she heard that the Buddha is in town and she's very happy. She got herself into a nice, those days they traveled in horse carts, of course. And then she was riding on the horse cart and she went to see the Buddha. Okay. Then she ordered a large number of magnificent carriages to be made ready, mounted one of them herself and accompanied by the rest, drove out of Vesely towards her park. Her park is the mango grove. She went by carriage as far as the carriage could go, then alighted and approaching the Blessed One on foot. The carriage took her to the maximum place. She went down, she walked over to see the Buddha and respectfully greeted him and sat down on one side. The way to respect the Buddha those days is you bow to him, pay your respect, and then you must go to the side and sit, You don't sit in front of him, you go to the side. Thereafter, Ampali, the courtesan, spoke to the Blessed One thus, may the Blessed One, Lord, please accept. So Ampali invited the Buddha for dana in her house. Okay, that's in short. Okay, Ampali said, please accept my invitation for tomorrow's meal, together with the community of the bhikkhus. And then when the Buddha keep quiet means he accepts, and that is the culture those days. When you invite the Buddha for dana, when the Buddha keep quiet means that is acceptance. Okay. Then Ampali was happy. She was going back. She rose from her seat, respectfully saluted the Buddha, and keeping her right side towards him, took her departure. So she went back on the carriage. Then on the way, she met the Lechavi's prince, and all the prince there, they also came. So then the Lichavi of Vesali came to know the Blessed One, they say, has arrived at Vesali and now staying at Ampali's Grove. Ampali's Grove actually is called the Mango Grove. It's called the Mango Grove. And they ordered a large number of magnificent carriages to be made ready. Wow, all the princes, all when they heard, they went. So on the way, they saw Ampali rushing. Why is Ampali rushing? And then they realized that Ampali has invited the Buddha for dana, and the Buddha has accepted. So the Lechavis told Ampali, hey, you let us invite the Buddha tomorrow. We pay you 100,000 pieces of silver. Let us take over. Then they don't. Okay. Thus, it is indeed my princess, not to otherwise for the Blessed One invited by me for tomorrow's meal together. Okay, so he said, give up the meal, Ampali, for 100,000. Okay, they gave 100,000 silver pieces to her. She says, but her reply was, even if you were to give me Vesali, give me the whole country or the whole state, sir, together with its tributary lands, I would not give up that meal for such importance. See, she valued the meal so much that even 100,000 silver to her to let them take over. Because once the Buddha say yes to you, the Buddha won't say yes to the next person. So they know, they say, please we give you the money, you give us the privilege to host She said, even give me the whole of Vesali, so I won't give you the privilege, So then the Blessed One beheld the Lechavis from afar as they drove up. Then he spoke to the bhikkhus, saying, those of you bhikkhus who have not yet seen the 33 gods may behold the assembly of Lechavis and may gaze on them, for they are comparable to the assembly of the 33 gods, meaning they were so full of, so beautiful, this Lechavis is a prince, they came in carriages that were so well decorated. Wow, they are like the realm of 33 God, God of 33 That's called Tavatingsa actually these are like the devas. But yet the Buddha did not accept their invitation for dana because the Buddha honored his words. He has accepted that invitation from the courtesan, which is a low class kind of woman, isn't it? But yet the Buddha honored that. And even the princess of Vesali came, the Buddha says. So that is the quality of the Buddha. You can be anybody, but if he says yes to somebody else, he will not withdraw his words. So that is another quality that we can learn to emulate. We have to learn to be like him. Okay. Then after that, the next day the Buddha went there and the Buddha ate at Ampali's place, and Ampali was so happy. Ampali told the Buddha, you can continue to stay in that mango grove. Okay, you continue to stay there for as long as you like. So that grove is called the Ambalatika. Ambalatika means the mango grove of Ampali. Ampali is the name of the courtesan. So today we have introduced a new person to you called Ampali. Okay, Ampali. Okay, another important chapter there is actually on part 2 is also When he was sick, that part, sister, maybe below that, you can have. Okay, here, okay, item 33, sister. Okay, item 33. Okay, I want to read this part to you. This is also very important. Item 33. Ada. Okay. 33. I shall read to you. Therefore, Ananda, be islands unto yourself, refuge unto yourself, seeking no external refuge with the Dhamma as your island, the Dhamma as your refuge, seeking no other refuge. So the Buddha is very clear. He told Ananda that you don't take refuge when he's gone now. Then with no other places that you can take refuge, except take refuge on yourself. Refuge unto yourself, you are your own refuge. Seeking no external refuge, with the Dhamma as the island, the Dhamma as a refuge, seeking no other refuge. Okay, remember, the Dhamma as a refuge and yourself as a refuge. That's what the Buddha teaches us. That is very important. And how Ananda is the bhikkhu, an island unto himself, a refuge unto himself, seeking no external refuge, with the Dhamma as the island, the Dhamma as his refuge, seeking no other refuge. Then the Buddha said, now, how Ananda can one be an island unto himself, a refuge unto himself, seeking no external refuge? The Buddha says, don't worry about external refuge. You are your own refuge. The Dhamma, yes, refer to Dhamma as a refuge and yourself as a refuge. Okay? And the island Dhamma, then the Buddha says, how can you do that? And Dhamma, seeking no other refuge. How? When he dwells contemplating body in the body earnestly, clearly comprehending and mindfully after having overcome desire and sorrow in regards to the world, when he dwells contemplating feeling in feeling, mind in the mind, and mental objects in mental object, earnestly, clearly comprehending and mindfully after having overcome desires and sorrow in regards to the world, then truly he's an island upon himself, a refuge unto himself, seeking no external refuge, having Dhamma as his island, the Dhamma as his refuge. Those bhikkhus of mine, Ananda, who is now or after I'm gone, abide as and refuge unto themselves, as a refuge unto themselves, seeking no other refuge, having Dhamma as their island and refuge, seeking no other refuge. It is they who will become the highest if they have desire to learn. So this is about contemplating of body in body. That's what the Buddha says. This is more in the Mahasatipatthana Sutta. It is contemplation of body in body. I won't want to explain this too much, but okay. Anyway, in short, you contemplate in the body, and then you again contemplate the feelings in feelings, mind in the mind, and mental objects as the mental object. You must realize this body and must realize this mind, this perception, this desire, to overcome this desire. So this is, then you can take refuge, meaning to say that whatever you want to know is all about your own practice to salvation. Meaning to say that this body is our salvation. We don't have to depend on external salvation. Maybe next week we cover two more, then we will finish it. We have finished the first two stages. Then hopefully next week we can cover two more stages. Today we'll end this session. Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you very much. Yeah, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, we have spent an hour and a half discussing the life of the Buddha and see in which part the life of the Buddha can inspire us. And I'm sure during such time when we were focusing on the life of the Buddha, our mind was free from greed, hatred, and delusion. Our mind was concentrated, meaning we are very focused. No greed, hatred, and delusion came to our mind. When there is no greed, hatred, and delusion that comes to our mind at that point of time was very pure. And that is the point of time where we grow abundance of merits. And these merits we always dedicate to our protective devas. And we hope that they too will eventually attain the perfect bliss of Nibbana. And by virtue of these merits, may they continue to bless us with good health, longevity, success, happiness, prosperity, and above all, wisdom to continue to walk the Buddha's path. We must also recall to mind the names of loved ones who are no more with us, and we want to dedicate these merits to them. And we hope that they too will rejoice in these merits, and they too will shower unto us their choicest blessings and protection. However, in the event that if they need these merits to help them in their spiritual well-being, may these merits reach them and help them in their spiritual well-being. Our aspiration as always, may we be blessed with the company of the good and the wise always. May we not follow the ways of the foolish. May we be blessed with good friends and good teachers who can guide us along the path of the Dhamma until we reach our final liberation, Nibbana. Ettavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva sabbe satta sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana patiya sadhu
Ah,
sadhu
sa-
sadhu